So far in this chapter, we've been talking about color and how to add color to either the foreground or the background. Now it's time to do something a little more interesting with backgrounds, and that's add images, or an image, as the case may be. You can add one image per background, although you can add images. You can have as many different backgrounds as you like, have images in them. So what we're going to do in this video is just take an image and apply it to the background of an element using CSS. Now, if you look here, what you see is sort of a basic version of our Java code design. And what I've done in the content area is I've given it a sort of a light gray background. So everything underneath the masthead and a little white separator between the masthead and the rest of it, we have this light gray background. And that's the area to which I'm going to add an image. So you can see here's the style the CSS set up to give element with an ID of content, this background color. And now I'm going to add a background image. And the way this works is you actually have a reference, a URL reference to an external file, an image. Although theoretically you could put any kind of file back there. In practice, you really can only add raster images in a format that the browser understands, like GIF or JPEG or PNG or something like that. So I'm going to add a reference to the image curlgray.gif. Now, this URL is a relative URL, which you may be familiar with in terms, relative URLs in hyperlinks. You could also do an absolute URL if you wanted to, but we're going to use a relative URL. Image URLs and URLs in general in CSS are relative to the location of the style sheet, not the location of the HTML document or the XHTML document. So if I had a URL reference in my external style sheet, then the URL reference to an image from that external style sheet would be relative to the location of that external style sheet. Here, since the style sheet's embedded into the HTML document, basically it's taken from where the style sheet is. That style sheet just happens to live inside this HTML document. So what this is going to do is from the location of the style sheet, the browser is going to go to an images subdirectory from the directory that the style sheet is living in, and then it's going to look for the image curlgray.gif, which if you look here, here's images, and there's curlgray.gif. So having done that and hit save, if we hit reload in Firefox, ta-da! The image has shown up. It's being repeated throughout the entire background of the content, the element with ID of content. It's just one image. It's just one instance of this curl, and it's just being repeated again and again and again. And we don't see that background color anymore because it's completely obscured by this repeated image, this tiled image. In fact, if we scroll down, you can see that it goes as far as the end of the content area. So we could also do this on the body if we particularly felt like it. Instead of having content have this background color and image, we could shift it to the body. And then that would go throughout the entire body, not just the content area. Of course, we wouldn't be able to see it here where the masthead and the nav links are because those are basically in front of the body, quote unquote. They're drawn over top of the body, and so their backgrounds obscure the body background behind them. If we were to take those backgrounds away, then we would see this repeated graphic throughout the masthead area and the nav links area. So that's how you add an image to an element. It's really pretty darn easy. What we're going to see in the next few videos is how to do more than just sort of simple tiling and affect the direction of the tiling, even the placement of the image, and other fun stuff like that.